Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, ANITA FINLEY.
Okay, well, this has been quite a morning. And someone who you will recognize for writing, I would say the best columns probably in our magazine is Linda SAUGET. And Linda, I don't know, you're just a genius. We talk about this, Linda, all the time of how in the world do you come out with all the things that you do? And the next issue of January, the title is Spread Your Wings and Fly. What a great title, Linda.
Thanks, Anita. Oh, you're so complimentary. I appreciate it.
It's true, though. I know that I and my staff, everyone, when we all sit and we kind of reiterate what you've just said, because I don't know, you make such good things come out of things that aren't so good.
Well, I love writing that column. Is one of the best gifts in the world because I love doing it. And so I'm glad that you appreciate it and that you like them. And I get feedback from readers, too, and that's the most gratifying when they tell me that they've read a column and it's great, it inspired them. I love hearing that.
Well, let me ask you, why don't you share what you're doing now? You are writing columns, but as of about a year ago, you've started to make public appearances.
Yeah, I think it's been even more than a year, maybe. I started speaking mostly at assisted living facilities and independent living facilities, but for some other organizations as well. And the genesis of that was from the column, because someone would read the column and say, can you come and talk to my group about, my topics are always positive. So that was the genesis of it. And so every month I'm working on presentations and columns. And that kind of really is an anchor for me to focus my attention on something that I'm passionate about. I love doing it.
Well, talk about the people who you talk to. These are older adults living in senior communities. And are they, these are people who can really appreciate what you say. And what do they say to you after you talk to them?
Oh, my gosh. I spoke this week, and a man in the audience asked me, I speak at that facility twice a month. He said, can you come in every day?
You see that? Oh, my.
And we always get really nice compliments. The people that we speak to are probably maybe some in their 70s, but mostly I'd say 80s, 90s, 100. Over 100 is not unusual at all.
Oh, I love it.
And so they have, these facilities, I think the world of them, because they provide amazing activities that people can participate in or they don't have to. But every day, 7 days a week, all day long, there are things that are organized for them to do. But I think what I bring that might be a little different is something to stimulate their mind. In other words, not bingo, not cards, not movies, not those kinds of activities, but a lecture with always a positive message, always encouraging, always with a message that it's never too late. I don't care if you're 80, 90, or 100. It's never too late to be more content, happier, give up something that's upsetting you, worrying you. So those are kind of the focus of my talks. And they get it. I think it benefits them. That's my goal always, is to leave them with things to think about, leave them feeling encouraged and motivated. And, these are not people who are going to jobs and raising families and, in that stage of their life. So they're at a stage in their life where I think it's important to feel optimistic and encouraged. There are things, even with physical limitations and the difficulties that they may face in certain areas, I still say there are things to be optimistic about, to look forward to, and to improve upon in our personal character, our personal happiness. So those are all the topics that I talk about, and it's just such, to me, I feel like the gift is to me to be able to do that. But it's also a gift to them. So it's win-win.
So, Linda, you also now have a wonderful guy that comes with you. Let's talk about Dave.
Well, it's Dr. David Lemonik, and he comes with me on these presentations. And what is so great is, as a medical doctor, he can give sort of the medical explanation for the things that I talk about. So for an example, I may talk about your thoughts and how your thoughts impact how you feel. If you have negative thoughts, it's going to bring you down. If you have positive thoughts, you're going to feel better. So I might talk about like the importance of the way you think, your attitude, your perspective on things. He then can take the clinical and medical side of what is going on in your brain, chemically, clinically, that makes you feel better if you have positive thoughts. I mean, there are medical, clinical reasons. It's not just positive thinking, quote unquote. There's actually a medical, clinical reason why our thoughts have an impact on the way we feel. So he takes that side of it. He does more, but not in a way that is you can't understand. I mean, he speaks to people who are not clinicians or physicians, so he brings it down to a level for a general audience. But the things that I talk about, he gives the scientific side of it, and it's so interesting. So we're a good team. We have the positive, motivational side of it, and then we have the intellectual side of why what I'm saying has a clinical side to it, a medical side, proven research, studies that show people who are optimistic live longer. They are healthier mentally, physically, but he can explain why through research studies, credible research that's been done, why the things that I talk about make a difference. So we're doing a presentation in the month of, we go to different facilities, and so we try to do the same presentation at each one so we can keep them straight. And so for the month of January, we're talking about happiness, and I'm talking about things that can increase your happiness, and he's doing the medical side of why. Why does that increase your happiness?
And,
so,
thinking about that, there are certain chemicals in your body, really, I believe, that do work on that happiness gene, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's exactly right. So if you have whether it's social connection, which is the number one most important indicator of happiness, is not being isolated and alone. There are times when you might want to be alone and isolated, but in general, social connection is the number one indicator of happiness. And what that does, that interaction does release chemicals in our body and in our brain, serotonin and dopamine. It's the same thing that positive thinking. When you are thinking optimistically, those chemicals are being released in our body, and those chemicals lower blood pressure, they calm us, they give us contentment, because those are the same chemicals that are in antidepressants. Our body generates them. Deepak Chopra says we have the most sophisticated pharmacy in our own bodies.
I love that.
Because we can make ourselves feel better just by the way we think. And the reason for that is because we release chemicals. They've done studies, for example, on doing an act of kindness, because another way to make yourself feel better and be happier is to give unto others, the old golden rule, do something for someone else. And what they've done is they've measured the chemical in your body of dopamine, and then they show you a TV commercial where somebody is doing something kind. And then they do a blood test again, and you could see the hormones in your body that are released just by witnessing an act of kindness. So these kinds of studies, they are pretty rampant. I mean, it is considered, it's not controversial. It is considered scientifically proven that acts of kindness make us feel better. Even watching acts of kindness, performing acts of kindness. So, all of these things contribute to our sense of well-being.
Linda, I just want to tell you something that our previous guest, Dr. Appleton, is a chiropractor, and he's very effective. He helps people in pain. But one thing that I've told him is he has a great attitude of health, beauty. He's friendly. He's caring, and I think that's why his treatments are probably going to be more effective than someone else using the laser who don't have that same
I agree.
embodiment.
I agree. I completely agree that, think about it. If you go to a physician and a chiropractor or any healthcare provider, and they are not positive, well, maybe we can help you, maybe not,
Right.
You respond, people respond in kind to the energy that's given out. So if he's optimistic and he is friendly and charismatic, it just puts patients at ease. It makes you feel confident that you're going to be, treated correctly and well. So I'm sure that's a reason why he's successful.
Yeah, it is, and he's so nice himself. He comes in here, he bops in here, and now he's run off to go to his practice, at Saturday morning. So, yeah, but everything you've said is so true. And Dave really is a treasure, and I'm so glad that he's going with you. But let's talk, though, about how if anyone is interested in having Linda and Dr. Dave come, you can just, let me give you a way to get in touch with them. If you go to their website, which is ifyouthinkit.com. Is that a good way to be able to get you?
Or just my email address.
Which is SAUGET. Okay, that's a little bit more complicated for someone, though, to get to you. But I tell you what, if you want to talk to Linda, you call our office, and we'll put you in touch with her. Our number at our office is 561-864-1101. Again, 561-864-1101. And you call us, and we'll put you in touch with Linda Sauget and Dr. Dave. But you should know that Linda will be coming to our Boomer Expo on Tuesday, the 28th of January, and you'll be able to meet her right there.
That's right. I can't wait. I always look forward to the expos. I'm always just amazed at the great exhibitors, all the great energy there. And, of course, Anita, you do the best job. You make it entertaining. You make it worth spending the day there. And I tell you, that is an achievement.
Thank you, Linda. You're very kind. And we have such a lot of exhibitors, and they run the gamut. We made a list now, a partial list. And, they go from health to wealth to entertainment to people getting in cars. They have the big car trucks that are transporting your cars. We have all sorts of interesting people. I just love it.
Yeah, it is really something. And the thing that I love is it's geared to things that interest boomers and seniors. And so it's very targeted to that audience. But even younger people can come to see what is available for their parents and grandparents. So it just, it hits everything.
There's something I love. There's a organization, it's one of our major sponsors. By the way, AARP is one of our major sponsors, but so is something called it's Clearcaptions. And for those of you who don't quite hear as well on a phone as you normally want to, you actually get this free phone. It's free, and it has captions of what the person's saying. I mean, I think it's marvelous. I don't know if you've seen them, Linda, but
I've seen them I haven't seen that specific phone, but I mean, I think that's a wonderful service. I do. How beautiful is that to be able to have someone who has difficulty hearing be able to communicate?
So do you have that situation when you're talking at these senior communities, people can't hear you, so do you use a microphone?
We always use a microphone, and sometimes we even have to yell into the microphone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In other words, we have to be cognizant to speak loudly, and we do use a microphone.
And clearly, too, because there's some people that they always claim everyone mumbles. Well, some people do mumble, but most of the time it's because you're hearing. You need to get that tested. But when you go to, and you tell me all the places you go to, can you name them?
I can. We go to, in Aventura, we go to the Imperial Club and the Sterling. Both of those are in Aventura. And then in Lauderhill, there is an independent living facility called Pacifica, Forest Trace Senior Living, Pacifica. And then in Boca, there is a facility called Sinai Residences, an independent living facility. So those are regular. We speak there every month, sometimes twice a month. And then as other facilities we have an opportunity. So those are our regular talks are there.
But you're up for other kind of places. So people who are listening, if you have a group, you want educational and very uplifting talk, you can just, as I said, you'll get Linda to come do that. She doesn't charge very much. I told her she could charge a lot more, but she's so into this as a thing she wants to do that she's a real bargain. Let me just tell everybody.
Yeah, no, I've talked before Hadassah. I've talked before the federal retired employees at a temple in Weston, a temple in Hollywood. So, a condo association in Boynton Beach. So you can see it runs a gamut of a wide group of people outside the assisted living where we've talked. So it's my passion to do that because I really feel like I'm providing a benefit.
Do you learn?
People leave feeling better.
Yeah, of course they do. And do you learn a lot from them? I know you've talked about that.
I do. I learn so much, It's really made me even more compassionate. I was talking at one facility about the importance of forgiving and forgetting. And one man raised his hand and he said, "How am I going to forget the Holocaust? I'm a Holocaust survivor. How can I forget that?" So I said to him, "You know what? You're right. You can forgive. Maybe you can't forget, but you can still forgive." So I changed my talk now. I don't say forget, but you can forgive.
Right.
I learn from them. I learn as much from them, believe me.
Yeah, I'm sure that's really true. And you have told me that, and I love this idea that someone said, "I wish you would come every day."
Yes, I love that.
Well, maybe what you have to start doing is doing some tapes. And then you could either sell the tapes, however you want to do it, and then they could listen to a lot of your talks. Because let's face it, you and I, we listen to people, and sometimes we forget what they said. So they could keep hearing it.
You're such an entrepreneur. I never thought of that, ever.
Well, it's because what you just told me. You could do tapes, and people would love them. They would buy them. They would, you could do a CD, whatever. You should ought to think about it, because if you're having this, and the way you could do it actually is you just have the tape running while you're there speaking. So you don't have to have a special person there doing it for you. Just run you could actually
post them on your website.
Oh, that's a good one. Put them on my website.
Yeah. But even that, you might want to just have something so that it'll be there forever.
Yeah, that's very, very good. Anita, you're an entrepreneur. You are always, your mind is always going.
Well, I just
You're
have
great.
so many interesting friends, so smart, that it just drives me crazy. I mean, I'm so thrilled. In fact, you're going to see something. I think you did see it. We sent you the full page with all the radio guests, and of course you're there.
Yes.
I mean, that's so
That
impressive.
was
I could hardly
amazing.
believe it.
Anita, I sent you a note.
I
saying
know
you're a
you
force
did.
Of nature.
I know.
The fact that you interviewed all of those people, oh my gosh, you're amazing.
Well, I was thinking, too, when this happened, it made me amazed. And I said, I've been doing this for 30 years. Can you imagine if we were...
I think you might beat Larry King.
Yeah, right.
I think you might have been
yeah, right.
more
I don't know
people than
about
Larry
that.
King.
But it is. But you are there, and you are so important to us and for what you do. I mean, it's like, how could anyone know that it would be? That's why I wanted you back on here, because I think that you, you're very good on the radio, and I know you're very busy because you actually do a lot of other things too. And
yes, I do.
we need to make sure you get on at least once a year so we can put you into 2020 list.
Yes. Well, here I'm on for 2020.
That's right. So we got to set
this one time.
That's right. You're going to be on. Well, we want you on for more than that, but at least I was thinking about that you didn't get on because you're so busy. And then Dave, we have to put Dave on there too.
We have to
get him on the radio show.
He would be great. All right. Well, we'll do that. We'll do a joint one next
time.
Oh,
that would be fabulous. You could do that. And Dave is, as you said, he's been a physician and he's an artist and he's just a wonderful guy. So, hi, Dave. Thank you for sharing Linda with us this morning. So, Linda, we've talked a lot about what you do for people, but the thing, and I've asked you personally, how someone like you can put together a column with such meaning in such a short. I mean, this isn't a long column. We hold it down to about a quarter of a page, and it's harder to do that when you're writing. It's much easier to just ramble on. But how you figured out how you get the idea first for the column, and then how do you find all the documentation to make that column have reality?
Something I look all month long for something to inspire me. I either hear a story or read a story or see a quote. Like I saw a quote, I don't know if I'm going to say it exactly. This was by Mark Twain. And the quote was something like this: I have been through a lot of tough times in my life. Some of them have actually happened. And the quote is about how much we worry and think about bad things happening, but they don't always. They're in our minds. So I'm going to probably do something on worry for the next column.
That's perfect.
And use that quote. I have been through a lot. Some of them have actually happened.
Amazing. No, I think that worry is, everybody worries. And there is a saying, you're right. If it hasn't happened, don't worry about it. But there are people who are born worriers. You know that.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But really, if you think about it, all the things you worry about, how many of them actually happen?
Right.
So something like that happens. I see a quote like that, and then it just inspires me, and I'll think about it now, and then I'll end up writing a column about it or a presentation. Because worry is a good topic because everybody worries.
Right.
Who doesn't worry?
No, that's true. But you can't let it take you down either. That's the difference in it. You have to. What's the word? C'est la vie? I don't know. Is that?
Yep.
Whatever happens, right?
Right.
Well, that's going to be a good column. I'm very, do you remember the face of the guy that says, "Why worry me?" And that crazy look on his face, that strange-looking guy with the big ears?
Yes.
Isn't that what it was? Why worry, or what was?
Don't worry, be happy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That was really good. So that's what you're doing now.
Yep. So that's going to be my next column, I think. I mean, when I sit down to write, if it doesn't come to me, then I have to change topics, you know.
Sure.
But right now, that's what I'm thinking.
So do you write more than one at a time? Well, sometimes you're in the mood and you just write a few.
I wish I did. I've been doing this column since October of 2012.
Ah.
I've been sending in a monthly column since the end of 2012.
Wow.
And I have been saying since that time that I need to stockpile a few. Have a few in my back pocket that I can just, and I never do. I always I don't know, I get too busy. There's too many other things going on.
And you're exhausted by the time you write one.
Yeah, so then about a week before, 10 days before it's due, then I sit down and I write, I rewrite, I tweak, I edit, I change. And by the time that's done, I can't write another one until the next one is due.
Well, let me throw something at you. It seems lately I have friends who have fallen, hurt themselves, wind up in a a rehab center, you know, and we have to do something about people being more careful. And I know that's not what your article's about, but people do need to watch where they walk. If there are obstacles, walk around them. Don't do too many things at one time. Just look at what you're doing, because once you fall, you're going to really need that column that Linda writes for you.
Yeah, no, Anita, what you've just said is so true and so good. I'm going to have to work that into one of my talks.
Yeah, that's true. You should. It's really important, and it's
so important.
Yeah, because you know people who have fallen. I mean, they can be young; they don't have to be older people, but it really will damage their years. And sometimes, you know, it's not that it's fatal so much, but mentally, it's extremely disturbing.
It is, and even if you fully recover, like you say, the process of healing, it just puts you back. It stops you in your tracks, changes your focus. And so it's much better to avoid it. Much better to avoid it.
Ah. Well, Linda, I'm so happy you're doing this on 2020. Wasn't it appropriate? Start the year out in the radio show.
Oh, thank you so much, Anita. You're a gift. Thank you.
You're the gift too that we have. You know, it's so nice to have made friends through Boomer Times, and now who we have really special times with. So. Thank you. I really appreciate you so much, Linda, and give my love to Dave, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Okay, talk to you soon, Anita. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Bye.